Hello and welcome to this program on Saline's Community Access TV. I'm your host, Dave Four, for this Criminal Justice Complex Information Program. I'll introduce our guests here in a moment, but to give you a quick overview of what we are here for today is the fact that the Criminal Justice Management Group, consisting of primarily users of the jail, judges, prosecutors, defense attorneys, community corrections, municipal court, city, county government representatives, Central Kansas Mental Health, the Occupational Center of Central Kansas, local citizens, the police department, and the sheriff's office, was put together to discuss the needs of the current jail. However, due to time constraints for persons in the Criminal Justice Management Group, they formed a Citizens Jail Community Advisory Committee, which consisted of 12 members who were appointed by the County Commission in March of 2013. This group worked with Mr. James Robertson, a consultant and partner with Voorhis Robertson Justice Services, Inc. of Denver, Colorado, and members of the Sheriff's Office, District Court, Court Services, County Attorney's Office, and the Community Corrections Office to come up with a project to present to the County Commission. The Citizen Group worked from March of 2013 to June of 2014, and they presented the Criminal Justice Complex project to the County Commission for their approval and a final vote to present to the citizens on the November 4th general election ballot coming up. This Citizen Group looked at 5 different options to present to the Commission, and from the 5, they picked option number 5 because it met the needs of all agencies involved and was not the cheapest or the most expensive. Choosing the right option is something that the group struggled with for quite some time because they were looking for the need for more space, better security, and most important, safety issues that involved citizens, employees, witnesses, inmates, and clients. Now, if you want to see more information about all this, you can go to the Sheriff's Department website, and that's simply salinesheriff.org, and then click on to the title in the center of the page, Criminal Justice Complex Project Information. So that's why we are here, and I do point out to begin with that this program is a presentation of only the facts and not opinions and not recommendations. So here is the panel. To my far right is Judge Jared Johnson, 28th Judicial District. Judge, thank you for being with us. Christina Trojak, Assistant Saline County Attorney, with us. And to my left, Annie Grievous, Director, 28th Judicial District Community Corrections, and Jerry Fowler, who has quite a business card, Citizens Jail and Criminal Justice Advisory Committee member. We thank you all for being with us for this program. Excuse me. Okay, and we will start with Judge Jared Johnson, who is going to discuss the limitations of the current complex concerning the court system. Judge?
Thank you, Dave. And as an initial note, I'd like to thank Todd Highschmidt. He's the court administrator and planned to be here but was unable to due to unforeseen circumstances. As Dave indicated, my comments are merely meant for informative purposes and should be taken as such. I want to address 3 to 4 issues, the first being safety, the next being space, the third being health, and then the fourth being technology. From a safety perspective, the current building situation entails a significant safety issue with transportation of prisoners. Prisoners, for those that don't know, are currently transported from the jail to the courthouse and have the same access point essentially every time, use the same elevator that court staff, citizens, jurors, parties, and judges use. Then they are walked down the same hallway that jurors, parties, victims, staff use, that they sit in the hallway, they walk past those individuals, and then they are held in a room that is less than 10 feet away from judges, staff, and secretary and chambers. Obviously, that current condition is a significant safety issue, and really the question is not if but when a situation will arise that will cause harm or danger to others on that floor. That's just the transportation issue. Then there's also a public separation problem in that there currently is not enough space for individuals to meet, counselors, attorneys, to meet with witnesses, for victims or alleged victims to remain, or for defense counsel to meet with their clients. And oftentimes we have very little space to do that, maybe use a jury deliberation room or some other location. It's simply inadequate in its current form. There is also not a secure jury entrance. So as I'd commented previously, once a jury's selected, after we've brought in numerous people, those 12 individuals, sometimes more if there's an alternate juror, use the same elevator as the parties, use the same elevator as the judges and county attorneys and witnesses, walk down the same hallway. And this has presented a problem, and I'm sure Ms. Trocek can attest to this, on numerous occasions, because jurors are not to have contact with anyone else in the case, communicate with them, and just being courteous individuals. That can sometimes happen. Then we have to take it up on the record and explain it. It causes problems, not just safety problems, but also then trial problems. Court services, the safety issues there, they're in need, according to the notes, for a safe, private, and healthy location to collect urinalysis samples, which is a routine and daily part of their job. I believe there's a picture in the slide that would show how inadequate their current facilities are. Then there's a space issue, a Blue Ribbon Commission that was initiated by Chief Justice Lawton Nuss of the Supreme Court. That study showed that we are, in our jurisdiction, short 3 judges. We should have 3 more judges and 5.5 new clerks. Without going into too much detail, there's simply not space for that. Currently, we have a magistrate judge who does a lot of work for this community and does it in a room that is not designed to be a courtroom. The parties are on top of each other. She is dealing with emotionally charged situations of child needed care cases, juvenile cases, and that is a safety issue. And in fact, we try, when possible, to pull her out and put her in another courtroom when our dockets allow that. But we don't have current space for our judges currently, let alone 3 new judges or 5.5 new clerks. The other space issue is the juror staging area. We routinely call in excess of 35 jurors. And again, Ms. Trocek could probably comment on this, but I would say the norm is to call more than that than to call less. And our current juror staging area is designed to only accommodate less than 35 potential jurors, so that's inadequate. We oftentimes have 80 jurors called, up to 100 jurors called. That's not unusual in any given year. So that space is inadequate. The meeting rooms, I already touched on that. The on-site urinalysis, the health issue, I touched on that as well. Then the final issue then would be technology. And I'm going to add a little bit into the technology, and I'll start by saying that the current facilities, at least in my perspective, have not been updated for some time. So our carpet, those type of things, that's also a safety risk. I didn't add that into the safety portion, but the carpet's essentially coming up from the floor. It's wrinkled, it's degrading. We have duct tape in areas in our own facility. And I know that may seem minor, but that is something that staff encounter every day. And it just from a public perspective, it does not look good. It's not a good reflection on a court and the court system. But as far as technology in the courtroom, in today's criminal justice system, prosecutors, defense counsel, even in civil cases, not just criminal, technology is the norm. It is not the exception. So video evidence, audio evidence, slides, what's referred to as an ELMO, it's a way to essentially put up slides, that is used on a routine basis. And again, it's difficult to imagine a case where I haven't seen some form of technology, even if it's just audio or video. And currently, there's not a uniform system to do that. So the parties are left with a pull-down slide directly behind the witness, which doesn't work. There's no sustained technology for them to play video. We have to roll in a cart and try and position it, and oftentimes the parties are moving. The jury has difficulty hearing it at times, and it simply is not efficient. And the better way to do that is to have a dedicated TV in the lectern, sufficient audio and video technology to present to the jury. And even in most modern courtrooms, the jury, each individually in their own chair, can have a video display to display exhibits that are being put up on and to enhance the audio for those that have hearing impairments. So that overall is the information that the district court would present at this.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. All right, we move on, and we'll move kind of quickly to get through this. The building limitations concerning the county attorney, Assistant Saline County Attorney Christina Trojak.
Thank you, Dave, for having me. The concerns of the Saline County Attorney's Office really center around three primary areas of concern as well. That's safety, space, and security. Our office has 18 individuals who work inside the office, and at this time there is absolutely not a nook or cranny that we could expand to employ additional staff if that was ever approved by the County Commission, which would probably be the case if we ever were assigned additional judges in our district. We could not do that in our current space. We use absolutely every inch of the space that's currently assigned to the county attorney's office. The other limitations that go along with that are storage limitations. We store many of our files off-site, but because we deal with so much paper and so many files, we can't take a trip to the storage unit every day or even every week. So we have to stack up boxes that have closed out files, and those are stacked up, most of them outside my office. And that is because we just don't have the space to accommodate that. We maintain all of our files that are associated with individuals who have been sentenced to the Department of Corrections. We maintain those files in our office until their sentences are concluded. As you all are probably aware, we have had an uptake in very serious violent crime, and we prosecute many of those cases, the homicides and the robberies and the sexual assault cases. So we maintain all of those files within our office. We have a big concern with our lobby access and the congestion and security issues in that regard. Currently, our receptionist sits behind a window that really provides no safety or security for her if someone would approach her desk area in an aggressive manner. They could easily come through the window. And the same is said of the office door leading into our office. While it is key coded and you have to have the code to enter, it is very flimsy, and the joke in our office is if someone wants to come in, it wouldn't take a very strong kick to obtain access to our office. And as you might imagine, some of the people that we deal with are not always happy to be in our office. That includes witnesses and victims that we may have to subpoena for court. And in our homicide cases, it's not unusual to have witnesses who have opposing interests that have been subpoenaed to testify for court. And that leads me to my next area of concern is the lack of space, separate space, to separate those witnesses. Currently, we have one witness room, and it is functional as a witness room, as a meeting room for staff, as a place that we can conduct interviews and meetings with victims and witnesses. Right now, it is the only space within the office that we can, and as you can see from the slides, it's very congested. It's the only space that we have available to us that we can keep witnesses in and victims in before they testify in court. And we try to keep those witnesses out of the hallway because, as Judge Johnson told you, we have a concern with witnesses and victims not coming into contact with potential jurors because we don't want to do anything to interfere with the integrity of the trial. And so we have to keep them back in our office, and that is very, very difficult to do when we have witnesses who may have opposing interests. Sometimes we have to put them in empty staff offices to separate them from the rest of the witnesses. And the victims who come up to testify in those cases often feel insecure in the space if they are sitting next to, say, the family member of the alleged defendant in that case. So it can be very uncomfortable for those individuals, and you can't see this from the slides, but our witness room is in the middle of our office, which provides a security risk for the rest of the office members. If there is an issue or a problem that arises in the witness room, there is no easy way to get witnesses out of there, because it literally is in the middle of our office. We, as you can see from the slides also, have the incredible storage issues, but primarily the issue in our office is space and security for our employees. I work with a really great group of people. They love coming to work each day, but as Judge Johnson mentioned, it is only a matter of time before something happens that could jeopardize the safety of those employees. And I would conclude by joining in some of the information that Judge Johnson gave you with regard to the limitations with juror access. And I've conducted a lot of jury trials in this district, and the common theme that I hear from jurors at the conclusion of a jury trial is that they feel uncomfortable walking down the hallway in front of defendants, witnesses, victims, defendant's family, victim's family, and they have to do the same thing when they walk into the courtroom every day. If they're asked to serve as a juror, they walk through the courtroom past many of those people to get to the jury deliberation room. And many of those jurors have expressed their concern to me about that as well.
Okay, thank you, Christina. To my left, we turn now to the building limitations from the viewpoint of Community Corrections. Annie Grievous, Director of 28th Judicial District Community Corrections Office. Annie?
Thank you, Dave. I have very similar concerns within our agency, very similar to the County Attorney's Office. Safety and security, space, confidentiality, and the public access areas. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about safety and security. At this point, I would say that safety and security is a serious problem for the clients and the staff. We house about 22 staff, and I have a new staff member coming on in the next month, and I do not know where I'm going to put that person yet. We need the staff person for the work, but we do not have a location. But the safety and security is just a huge issue. All our offices and areas where we see clients are cubicle space. They do not have walls, secure walls that go to the top of the ceiling. And they are as flimsy as the door in the county attorney's office. So anything can happen. They're very small access areas. We had to make them small so we could get enough areas to interview the clients, because we just have an increasing population of client offenders. So those areas are not secure, and they do cause a safety issue. We have a metal detector that goes into the area where the clients come in, and we try to scan them as well as we can, but we're finding more and more knives getting through that detector. The new knives that they call credit card knives and the small pocket knives that are less metal and more plastic are coming through. And we're grateful at this point there hasn't been an incident, but very likely at some point it could if we don't do something about that. So the safety and security is top concern in my office for both the clients and the staff. Additionally, there is no confidentiality. We are spending hours upon hours with these clients in these cubicle areas where every client that also is in there gets to hear everything that's being said. So the client is reluctant to be honest, be open, because they hear what's going on in the next interview room. If a client is being arrested in one interview room, it's very upsetting to the other clients. It can really disrupt a good rapport and a good interaction that needs to occur so that you're building those relationships to help those clients be successful. There's no confidentiality, and the clients are well aware of it, and that is a serious concern. In addition to that, space, just generally the space. We have outgrown everything we have. The building is great. Our landlord has been great to us, but we just don't have any space. One of the problems is the technology. We have our center computer hub stored in a UA room, literally a bathroom. And at any time, a client, if it was angry, could hit that area, pour something on that area, anything could happen. And so it's not a good setup, and it's a dangerous setup for us because that center goes down, it takes care of everything we do. So the need is to put that in a more solid, secure area. And there just is not space in the existing area that we have now. The other thing I want to touch upon is our public access areas, the lobby, the main entrance into our area. There is an elevator, but most of them take the stairs, and so do the staff. Our lobby area does not even begin to meet the needs of the client population that come in on a daily basis. Clients are standing. Most clients bring in 1 or 2 or 3 children with them. Those children are trying to be okay while they're sitting there waiting to be seen, but they're running around the area. In addition to that, rival gang members, we've had issues with them coming in. They both have to be seen, or 2 or 3 of them have to be seen. They come as a group. We've got an issue. Additionally, we have lots of co-defendants on, and they're not supposed to have contact with each other, but yet they're sitting right next to each other for maybe 30 minutes at a time, depending on what the situation is. It's just not a good setup. Ideally, we should not have juveniles and adults in the same lobby area. We should not be having them have any interaction together at all. Yet, as I stare out into our lobby on a regular basis, they're together, they're making plans for later in the day, and they may have drove together, and it's easy for them to make those connections because our lobby allows them to do that. Additionally, we do not have good secure areas for them to leave their belongings. We try to not allow any coats, purses, anything in through the door. To avoid any other safety issues. But we have such limited space for locker space that the lockers are quickly used. And so clients will leave their belongings on a chair, unsecure. And we've had many, many police reports filed for arrests or for theft. It happens all the time. We do have video, so we know who's done it. But they still have lost their belongings for a time. Sometimes they don't get those recovered. So it's not a good environment for anyone that needs to come in and leave their belongings there. And the last thing that I just want to touch is that, again, our systems are outdated. The cubicle spaces need to be offices. As Ms. Trocheck referenced, our reception area is a piece of plexiglass. Literally, if anybody wanted access to those ladies that sit up front, it would take nothing except for pushing it over. In addition to that, so is all the doors in that area. It doesn't take anything to get through those. We have them punch code locked, but it doesn't secure them. I walked through the other day just to see how bad the cubicle spaces were, and it was very flimsy. So as you can see, we have the similar issues, and we've just outgrown the space, and the ability to be safe and secure in that environment is just not there.
Okay, Annie, thank you very much. Jerry Fowler is next. I will point out after Jerry addresses the building limitations of the adult jail, we'll be talking with Sheriff Glenn Kokonowski. So Jerry, again, once again is a member of the Citizens Jail and Criminal Justice Advisory Committee. Jerry Fowler.
Thank you. The adult jail is really what this is all about, and the structure that exists. The upfront issue is the female unit. As you can see, the original design of this facility was for 20 inmates. And today there's 60 to 70 females in custody, and because of that overcrowding, the Sheriff's Department has changed their facility to take over one of the 64 unit male cells and converted it into the female unit. That has displaced 64 males that are now housed out of county. So there's been some issues there with trying to make that all work. You can see from the pictures that the facility is not very large. The overcrowding that exists, you can see the boats there on the floor, and that's where they were sleeping at that time frame. So it's not a safe environment by any means. The booking area that exists, it's been carried over from the original construction, and it's the area where all of the inmates and all of the intake is done, the detox, temporary holding and transportation staging for the inmates. All inmates come and go through this area, female and male, all through the booking area that is not very large. And you can see on the right-hand side there that the holding cages that they use to put the waiting inmates in, there's over 50 inmates are processed every day in and out of this facility, and you've always got more than several people standing there looking at each other and mingling, and you never really know just where the things are at. So safety is a huge issue with that area. Moving along to the nurse's office, this is not a very large area. This is only a pass-through facility. It's where the dispensing of prescriptions are done, little first aid is done, and this is where the scheduling of hospital visits are done if they're necessary. And there's 250 to 350 appointments a month go through this small office. And there is very little security. If you have more than one inmate there, the nurses are the nurse is at the mercy of whatever may occur at that point. So it's a security is always an issue when you have more than one inmate that may be involved with it. The transportation of inmates is a large part of the jail's needs because of public safety and the building security and inmates. You've got to interact with all of those inmates that are there that you're trying to transport, and that will not be the issue with a new facility because transportation outside of the facility will no longer be necessary. So there would be some savings of personnel and time, not counting the safety issue that exists with not having to transport those people. These pictures here shows the courthouse hallway, and the general public are right there next to the inmates that are trying to go to court. And this mode of operation has a potential to be a great risk for the general public. With the new jail facility, inmates would no longer be transported, so they would not be leaving the building for a court appearance or any other issues. So therefore, there would be no more contact with the general public, and the safety of the facility would be greatly enhanced. As we look at some of those pictures, you can see that if you were visiting the courthouse for an event, whether you're there to take care of family members or testify or whatever it is, you're bumping elbows with the person you may be testifying against. And it just creates a huge safety issue that is well past the need for dealing with that.
Okay, and if you out there would like to get more information on what we've talked about so far, you can go to salinesheriff.org, click on to the title in the center of the page, Criminal Justice Complex Project Information. And we thank our presenters for being with us. Next, Saline County Sheriff Glenn Kokonowski. Saline County Sheriff Glenn Kokonowski, and Sheriff, obviously the presenters here today are concerned about basically three issues: space, safety, and security, and that goes for the jail as well.
Dave, they hit it right on the head. Space, safety, and security are the three elements that all agencies involved in this are concerned about. If you look at the Saline County building, that building opened in 1969, and there have been no major changes over there other than new air conditioning and repair of small things, but no additional office space added. And everyone over there, they're crowded. They just have no place to go. There's no place for us to work with the citizens like they told you when they were talking to you earlier. They mingle with the inmates when we take them out of the facility. So I want to just summarize where we are. This is a project that we have been working on. We started in-house back in 2011, and we finally went formal with the county commission working with us in 2013. The committee was formed, and we made a recommendation in March of this year. If we do nothing, I will continue hauling inmates out of Saline County to at least 4 different counties at the average cost of $30 or $40 a day. And that will, over the next 15 years, because the committee, when they did their work, they projected out to 2030. And so over the next 15 years in working with the consultant, our population, our jail population, is going to continually rise. And if I continue taking inmates out of county like I am right now, and today I have 79, how's that? We're going to spend well over $22 million just housing inmates out of this county. That doesn't cover the expenses of the officers, the expenses of the equipment that's going to be used. That's just housing our inmates, our money going out of the county. This is a $46.5 million project. That money alone over the next 15 years would pay for almost half of this total project of bringing the courts, the community corrections, the county attorney's office, the sheriff's office, and the administrative staff for the courts into one complex. On our current site, we have worked with a firm that has come in and volunteered to help us right now. They looked at our area of space, the 2-block area we're in. We can utilize that and make this criminal justice project happen on the current footprint of where we are without reaching out and annexing homes or anything else. Everything will be right there in a 2-block area. Dealing with the inmates, and again, the committee did fantastic. We take inmates in and out of the jail Monday through Friday, anywhere between 20 and 45 inmates a day. And they are paraded over to the city-county building out in the open air. We haul inmates out of the county, that many on a daily basis, because we're making trips back and forth to get them into court. And so the security issues involving them, we have no idea what's going to happen. We are waiting for a disaster to happen. Someone is going to be hurt with us doing our jobs the way we're doing them now. If this facility happens, inmates will never leave that building. They will go to the different courts in that facility through secured hallways. They will never be out of that facility unless we're taking them out of there for an emergency. So this is an important issue for this community, for this county, to look at what we need to do and ask us questions. They can contact us at the sheriff's office at 785-826-6500, and we will answer their questions. They can go to our website that you put out earlier, salinesheriff.org, and right there in the middle of the front page is a big criminal justice complex. They will be walked through everything that we have done in the last 4 years. It'll be out there recorded so they can look at what we're doing and the PowerPoint, as you just said. Or they can email us at sheriff@salinesheriff.org. That's sheriff@salinesheriff.org, and ask questions if they have something that they are particularly interested in, that they want to know what we're doing, and we will answer it. We will be busy in the next month and a half. We are going to be doing a lot of work with the newspaper, with the radio stations. We're here on Access TV. We are going to be talking to community groups. We're going to be talking to the individual small communities in the county. We're available to go out and talk to anyone that wants us to sit down and talk with them. So it's important to me that we get the right information to the citizens so they can make the proper decision come November 4th. One thing that a lot of people don't know, when we deal with the half-cent sales tax, 23% of our tax money will come from residents who live outside of the county. So 23% of this issue will be paid for by people that are using the services in Salina and Saline County. And I think that's a tremendous way for us to do what we need to do. And I just encourage the citizens to get involved in what we're doing, ask us questions so they have a better understanding. The half-cent sales tax is what will be presented to them on November 4th. And over the year, the consultants that we work with advise that they figure the way the economy is going, this sales tax should raise an additional $5,080,000 to help pay this off. And we would hope to pay this tax off and cancel the tax in 10 to 13 years. Not use the entire 15 years, but in 10 to 13 years or sooner, depending on what the economy is doing. And I believe it's important that people know this. And again, I cannot repeat enough, if they have questions, please contact us.
Thank you, Sheriff. Sheriff Glenn Kokanowski. We thank our other presenters. We thank you for watching. I'm Dave Four. This is Community Access TV.